Greetings and salutations one and all. Welcome to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It's Healthy Love Night. And I'm inviting you to call a friend and tell a friend. Off tonight with that little soca music as usual. The sound of Kerwin, the boys.
Lord, I feel it of wet. Oh, I want to get wet. Big mail and bed was a sweat. Oh.
It's called wetting.
It's soothing. Yeah. It's the kind of thing to put your mood in. Cause when my pressure facing a all time low, I bet it's the only place to go. Anytime I feel that I'm in a jam, is bottles in my hand. Cause the night is wetting after wetting, vetting after vetting. Them can't handle me when I start jamming. Wetting after wetting, my money's what I'm getting. Them can't handle me when I start jamming. No, officer, you can't do me that. I ain't finished wine on this phone by yet. No, Mr. Man, you can't spoil the plan. Cause I plan to jam, I want to get wet. Get wet, get wet, get wet. Inside is wet. Get wet, get wet, wet. Enticing, yeah. It's the kind of thing you put some spice in. Yeah, I'll make it clear that when the chest is facing all time low, I bet it's the only place I'll go. Anytime I feel that I'm in a jam, is bottles in my hand. Cause the night is wetting after wetting, vetting after vetting. Them can't handle me when I start jamming. Wetting after wetting, my money's what I'm getting. Them can't handle me when I start jamming. No, officer, you can't do me that. I ain't finished wine on this phone by yet. No, Mr. Man, you can't spoil the plan. Cause I plan to jam, I want to get wet. Get wet, get wet, get wet. Inside is wet. Get wet, get wet, get wet, get wet, get wet, get wet, get wet. Inside is wet. Get wet, get wet, get wet. Lord, I'm feeling so wet. Oh, I want to get wet. Lord, I'm feeling so wet. Oh, I want to get wet. Lord, I'm feeling so wet. Oh, I want to get wet. Leave mail and bed was a sweat. Oh, wetting after wetting, vetting after vetting. Them can't handle me. Jamming.
I want to say welcome to each and every one of you officially. It's Healthy Love Night right here on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. Yeah, man, you can get wet if you want to.
I want to get wet. Lord, I'm feeling so wet.
I want to say big ups to all the affiliates.
Lord, I'm feeling so wet. Oh, I want
and everyone else locked in. Those on One Harmony Radio over there in the UK. Top of the morning to you.
Wetting after wetting, vetting after vetting.
Big ups to those who are locked in on WGLRO.
Wetting after
the People Station. Home of the Don and Walker Morning Show. Greetings to those on Alawap Radio, Dusik Media Group. Texas is well represented. Big ups to you. Big ups to those out of New York, Ireland, worldwide.
Oh, I want to get wet. Lord, I'm feeling so
NIE Radio to New Jersey. Big ups to you.
Feeling so wet. Oh, I want to get wet. Leave mail and
much love and respect to those locked in on ClintonLindsay.com, the Foundation Radio Network. Those locked in on TuneIn Radio, the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, and of course the home of the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com. So glad to have each and every one of you. Couldn't do it without you. And you have my word, I wouldn't even try. The sound of Kerwin Du Bois. It's called Wetting. I want to say big up to those who are locked in on Facebook Live. Remember, it's only temporary. As in, it's just a segment broadcast. Use the link kevinstew.com and stay tuned, get locked in for the entire broadcast. Be interactive in the stew pot. It's what others call a chat room, but because we're fancy over here on kevinstew.com, it's the stew pot. It's where we're interactive and bubbling. Jump on in, the water is always fine. You can choose to be anonymous, or you can change your name. But I do invite you to call a friend, tell a friend, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends. Call everybody and say, yo, it's healthy love on the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. You don't want to miss out on it. I want to say thank you to my segment broadcast sponsor, the Pulsey Media Group. When being in a moment is priceless, give them a call for innovative streaming and recording solutions. 754-999-6020. Alright, you can call them up if you have a wedding, a funeral, a church service, a seminar, you name it. They can provide you with secure streaming of your event. Call them on 754-999-6020 and tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you. So tonight, those of you watching, you can see it in the description. We're looking at toxic water across America. And the name alone is scary enough. But I'm not trying to scare anyone. First and foremost, let me just get that out the way and make sure that is clear. I'm not trying to scare anyone. But this is some information that I came across and thought it quite important to share with everyone, because when it comes to something like water, the foundation, you have the building block of the individual, and even within that building block, you have the foundation of that building block. You have the things that make up that block. And water is a big part of that. And drinking water especially. Now, according to Mercola.com, drinking water safety is not often at the forefront of your mind or top of mind unless it has made the news. Quite similarly to we think of Flint, Michigan, which when you think water woes in the United States, your mind should immediately go to Flint, Michigan. The thing is, it's not just at Flint. The level of contamination in U.S. tap water is very concerning, whether your water supply is from the municipal water system or a well. Just because it looks clear and seems to taste normal does not mean it is safe, and it does not mean it is pure. A recent survey analysis of water supplies across the United States found that other studies have also found what other studies have also found. It is brimming with toxic chemicals. Yep, across the United States, not just Flint. Test results from the Environmental Working Group, EWG, on 50,000 water utilities in 50 states also found 267 different contaminants out of 500 they tested for. So, just a shade over half the contaminants that were tested for was found in the water. One of the problems with the water supply is an aging infrastructure that may be nearing the end of its useful life. Water pollution from firefighting chemicals, agrochemicals, drugs, and nerve toxins produced by freshwater cyanobacteria, and an additional toxic load to the toxic load to the water supply. Now, it's additional because there's a fair amount of toxicity already in the water supply. Now, because our body is mostly water, we require a constant supply of pure water to fuel our filtration systems and ensure our body is free of toxins. Your blood, the kidneys, the liver, all require a good source of clean water to detoxify from the toxic exposure it meets every day. But as recent collaborative water survey from Consumer Reports and The Guardian has demonstrated, the water supply is in desperate need of detoxification itself. The team from Consumer Reports and The Guardian asked readers for help investigating the nation's drinking water supply, and more than 6,000 people held up their hands to be counted. Statisticians from Consumer Reports whittled the group down to 120 households that represented a cross-section of each of the EPA's 10 jurisdictional regions. Within each region, the team chose a mix of locations in which they tested the water for multiple contaminants. The analysis showed that 118 of the 120 water samples collected had high levels of PFAS, or arsenic, as well as detectable levels of lead. The group acknowledged that the study had some limitations since water quality was tested in one day, which may not demonstrate the overall quality supplied throughout the system. According to the report from Consumer Reports, the challenges were not technological. In other words, they believe filtration systems exist that can clean the water from contaminants, and yet they are not being used uniformly by community water systems. I wonder why. Now, although the Deputy Director of Public Works in New Britain, Connecticut, told Consumer Reports that a single sample may not be representative of the overall toxic exposure, EPA spokesperson Andrea Drinkard said that 93% of the population supplied by community water systems get water that meets all health-based standards all of the time. All right, pause for a moment. If all the water, if all, where I said, 93% of the population supplied by the community drinking water system meets all health-based standards all of the time. You want to tell me that of this cross section, or even the section that was tested in New Britain, Connecticut, was a part that fell in the 7th percentile that didn't get the health based standards all of the time? Could the people doing the tests have been so lucky? Or unfortunate, as the case may be? Drinking water contamination is a crisis. According to an analysis published in The Guardian in February of 2021, more than 140,000 water systems in the US are affected. The same analysis demonstrated that clean drinking water is not distributed equally, since systems that service rural counties and poor areas have a higher likelihood of violations. More proof that we are not all equal in the services that we receive, right? One of the factors new homeowners don't consider is the purity of their tap water supplies. And of course, why should they? You know, when you live in a country where it's touted that it is the best country in the world, you know, why would there be an issue? One of the Consumer Reports learned one of the participants in the study, Sandy and Scott Phillips from Texas, had built a custom home in a new development just north of Austin. After moving in, they invested thousands in a reverse osmosis and water softening system to take care of the unusual odor in the water. What the couple learned from the survey, or from a survey, was their water supply was high in multiple chemicals, including arsenic. Now, arsenic is a heavy metal that is naturally present in groundwater and highly toxic. The greatest public health threat from arsenic is when it is used in drinking water, when it is used in food preparation, and when it is used in irrigation of crops. Now, apparently, through all these methods, it will end up in the human system. So, long-term exposure increases the risk of several forms of cancer, including skin cancer, lung cancer, and bladder cancers. Other research has suggested that there is an association with neurological effects, cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and reproductive disorders. The health impact of low-level exposure to arsenic does not occur immediately, but happens over a long period of time. What period of time? Well, that's left to be determined. Exposure to arsenic can also reduce children's IQ and increase the risk of skin discoloration and lesions. Arsenic can get into the drinking water supply from industrial processes and runoff from agricultural and mining concerns. So, the levels of arsenic in the water then would be higher in your farming areas. And if it is higher in your farming areas, then the produce that we are getting in our local markets, then those are going to be tainted also. So, is there a way to get away from this? The general manager for the Texas couple's water supply told Consumer Reports that it has complied with all federal and state minimum contaminant level standards for arsenic and lead for many years. the minimum standard. He also commented that the results from the Consumer Report survey conflicted with their records. No big surprise there. The acceptable levels set by the EPA for arsenic in drinking water in 1942 had been 50 parts per billion, or 50 ppb. The level was reduced to 10 parts per billion in 2001, which was an amount the EPA felt would help water system operators balance the cost of filtering the water against health challenges. Yet, this level is still more than triple the 3 parts per billion level at which experts, including scientists at Consumer Reports and the National Resources Defense Council, NRDC, have long insisted it should be limited to. Now, nearly every water sample tested had measurable amounts of arsenic. A 2017 NRDC study noted that the EPA had set a minimum contaminant level for arsenic at 0, since no level is safe. However, it set the enforceable level at 10 parts per billion, which continues to be present. It continues to present a substantial cancer risk. The same report showed there were 573 water systems across the United States that were delivering water with excessive arsenic to over 1.8 million people. One study found exposure to arsenic at 5 parts per billion or greater in the drinking water. One study found that exposure to arsenic at 5 parts per billion or greater in the drinking water lowered IQ scores in children approximately 5 to 6 points in most cognitive areas, including working memory, verbal comprehension, and perceptual reasoning. Now, let me pause for a moment. It has been often said that we are either dumbing down our education or dumbing down our children. Is it possible then that it is not so much that we have been dumbing down the information that we've been giving, but our children, because of the higher levels of exposure of arsenic in the drinking water, have been unable to retain information and reproduce it? They have been unable to process information the way they used to be able. When compared to children of 40 years ago, compared to children of 80 years ago. I don't know. But at one point, the allowable arsenic levels in the water was much higher than it is today. So, how exactly do we approach this? 773-789-STEW is the number to call, number to text, number to WhatsApp or Telegram to get you in touch. 773-789-7839. That's 773-789-STEW. Real easy to remember. Call me, text me, WhatsApp me, Telegram me. I want to hear from you. You can also Skype with me if that is the method which you choose to use to communicate. My Skype handle, kevin.stew. Easy. Let me get some of your feedback. Let me hear some of your thoughts. Because, let's face it, it's kind of crazy. Right? There's no way we should be okay with this happening. And the information is out there. Survey results from the Phillips home in Texas also revealed their unfiltered water had 5.8 parts per billion of lead. In this instance, cost again has taken precedence over the potential health effects on consumers. Consumer Reports notes that while the EPA recognizes there is no safe exposure to lead, they do not require utility services to lower lead levels until 10% of the homes sampled in the area exceed 15 parts per billion. In the same NRDC report that surveyed violations of the Safe Drinking Water Act, the researchers found there were 5,367 water systems that were allowing high levels of lead and copper into the water system that affected over 18 million consumers. It wasn't until 1986 that using lead pipes to connect the water main to the water main in the street to buildings was banned. However, many of the previous water systems are still in use, affecting up to an estimated 6 million homes and businesses across the United States. Many of the health effects from lead exposure are well known, including kidney and brain damage, anemia, weakness, neurological damage and to a developing baby, lower IQ in children, and infertility in men and women. I would say that's population control, but then again, that's me. Yet, despite the overwhelming cost to the community and individuals from the exposure to lead, the EPA has not made significant changes to the maximum acceptable exposure levels for lead and in many other toxins found in the drinking water supply. Not good. The NRDC notes weaknesses in the current lead and copper rule and numerous deficiencies in other EPA drinking water rules require strengthening changes for the sake of public health. Now, if that isn't enough reason to make changes, I don't know what is. I'd like for somebody to tell me. But, hey, we're going to take a quick little break. We're going to say goodbye to those on Facebook Live. Thank you all for tuning in. Truly appreciate, love the support that you've been giving. Encouraging you to still share and call a friend, tell a friend, call an enemy, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends. Let everybody know. The Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew is on. It's Healthy Love Night tonight. And we are live and in living color on the home of the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com, and affiliates across the globe. One Harmony Radio, NIE Radio, Island Worldwide, WGLRO, Dusick Media Group, Oliwap Radio, ClintonLindsay.com, the Foundation Radio Network, and a number of tune-in locations, including the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew. Yeah, the Night Shift has its own tune-in location, so you can check that out if that is what works for you. But of course, kevinstew.com is there. And if you miss any of the broadcasts, you have the podcast that's available. You have YouTube that's available. And of course, the links to those broadcasts that you have missed on kevinstew.com. So you can see it, you can find them in the video archive, which is right there. Your one-stop shop. And you can find links to the individual broadcasts. All right? So go ahead, check them out. Subscribe to the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew wherever you come across it, whether it be by podcast or on YouTube, or just go to the website and give your support there. All right? Cool. We're going to take a quick little break. Facebook Live, deuces to you. Truly appreciate, love you. Catch you next time.
Quality Media Group, innovative streaming and recording, has done it again. A new way to get your business in full view of your neighborhood consumer through AdShare TV. It's available in your neighborhood today. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. Become a host today and place a TV monitor in a strategic location so it's easy to see. Get a 1-minute video ad or longer that plays anywhere in our network. Can't be a host? No problem. For a few dollars, we'll run your 30-second video ad. A host can run announcement specials like buy one get one free or discount ads. Let's turn your flyers into a 30-second video with music or a voiceover, or let us create and run your video ad with a spokesperson. Take advantage of our early enrollment discount. Join us today. Your ad will be seen at least 30 times per day in your AdShare TV neighborhood. It's easy. Just call us 754-999-6020. AdShare TV, part of Pulsing Media Group.
Imagine having our own Caribbean Center.
Imagine a museum highlighting our history and the contributions of Caribbean people to the world.
Imagine being able to visit and learn about the islands we call home.
In a place where our kids can see and feel their cultural heritage. You can make this vision come to life.
Help us create this first-of-its-kind space
that all Caribbean people can be proud of. Your contribution to Island Space Caribbean Museum will help this dream come true.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe.
Visit islandspacefl.org/GoFundMe and donate today.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy.
Or maybe he's teething.
Maybe it's just a phase.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The Night Shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.
Hey yo, this is Caraman to let you know that right about now you are logged on to DJ Kevin Stew on the Night Shift. Don't move.
It's been a long time coming. Are you ever gonna change? Are you ever gonna to take advice for how I'm feeling? It's been a long time running, and I know you wanna stay. So I think that it is time we live like we used to. Right all around the city singing with the top down. Let's take it back to when we were younger. It's been a long time coming, so put on a happy face. Grab my hand so we can let all of our troubles out. There's no care tonight. Take me for a ride. Even when it's dark, never will lie. Even when it's dark and you lose your mind. Oh, right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Oh, now you're so crazy. Oh, I'm crazy too. Right in the moment when your head is confused. Oh, I will stay in the madness with you. Baby, don't you worry, 'cause you know I understand what it's like to be chewed up and spit out in the cold world. Baby, there's no hurry, as long as you take my hand. We can dance and I won't be the one to let you go. There's no care tonight. Take me for a ride. Even when the stars never will lie. Even when it's dark and you lose your mind. Oh,
The sound of Royce. The track is called Madness. I want to welcome you back to the broadcast. It's the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew, Healthy Love Night. I want to say thank you to our segment sponsor, Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands. Althea SU is a licensed massage therapist that comes to you operating out of Broward County, North Miami-Dade and South Palm Beach counties. Give her a call, 954-655-9000. She comes to you with her table, her oils, her Healing Heavenly Hands, and of course she comes to you COVID free. You'll definitely want to leave that way. Give her a call if you're gonna be in town or if you live in any of those areas. North Miami-Dade, South Palm Beach County and Broward County. Or email her, thealita@att.net. Believe me, you won't regret it. If you're looking for a personal trainer, when you call Althea to arrange for your massage therapy, I'll talk to her about personal training. She's also certified as a personal trainer. So she'll put your muscles in pain, and she has the skills to soothe them. Thank you, Royce. The track is called Madness. So, talking about the madness, we're looking at toxic water across America. And just that title within itself just sounds crazy. But unfortunately, it is very real. Now, it may sometimes look like alphabet soup when scientists begin writing about perfluorinated chemicals, historically abbreviated PFC. Now, to reduce the confusion, the EPA made the move to use PFAS to refer to per and polyfluoro. Make sure you get this right. Per and polyfluoroalkyl substances. That's what the PFAS is. And these they use that to describe the chemicals, which are sometimes referred to as the Teflon chemicals or forever chemicals. Now, once you start talking about forever with me, you know, you say forever, you mention chemicals and water all in the same sentence, and that's a problem for me. PFASs make products water, oil, grease, and stain resistant, and are also found in firefighting foam. PFOS and PFOA are two PFAS chemicals that were voluntarily phased out by manufacturers. However, while they are no longer manufactured in the US, the EPA reveals phased out does not mean not being used. Understand, the literature that is used in some of the information that we're presented with is you need to look a little bit deeper than just what you read on the surface. The recent water survey confirmed that the ubiquitous nature of PFAS in the water supply, finding 117 of the 120 water samples taken contained the chemical. Instead of enforceable legal limits, the EPA has established voluntary limits for PFOA and PFOS at 70 parts per trillion, which many experts believe is far too high. Harvard environmental expert Philippe Grandjean, a PhD, believes research evidence suggests a lower limit of 1 part per trillion. The threshold is also supported by the Environmental Working Group and Consumer Reports Chief Scientific Officer. PFOA, commonly called C8, has been dumped from a plant in Parkersburg, West Virginia, beginning in the 1950s. The C8 Science Panel assessed the links between exposure and several health conditions, finding probable links to high cholesterol levels, ulcerative colitis, thyroid disease, several types of cancer, and pregnancy-induced high blood pressure. Now, isn't pregnancy-induced high blood pressure the same thing as preeclampsia? Just asking. And not for a friend, I'm asking for me. So for those that are in the know, if you can give me a quick answer to that question, I'd truly appreciate it. 773-789-STEW. Link me up, let me know. 773-789-7839. Shoot me a text, a WhatsApp, a Telegram. Shoot me a message. Give me a call. Just let me know. The report from the NRDC did not include PFAS chemicals, as they are not regulated under the Safe Drinking Water Act. Instead, the EPA issued a health advisory establishing unforeseeable levels that inform officials and water utilities of a level that may be safe. Analysis published by the EWG showed there were 2,337 sites in 49 states with known PFAS contamination. Unfortunately, while evidence continues to mount demonstrating forever chemicals are hazardous, the EPA is unwilling to protect consumer health, according to the EWG and the EPA. According to the EWG, the EPA, quote, recently released a so-called PFAS action plan, but it was woefully inadequate. The EPA plan will not address ongoing sources of PFAS pollution, will not clean up the legacy pollution, and will not even require reporting of toxic PFAS releases. Go figure. Now, if they're not going to do anything about it, again, my questions would be, why not? And, well, basically, why not? What do they have to gain from not doing anything about the water supply and toxins in it? Is it so much of a burden, or would it be so much of a burden to our industries that the water that we're getting is clean water? Is water that is not going to be detrimental to our health in 30 years? If you choose bottled water instead of tap water, you would think that, okay, this is a solution to the problem, since the tap water isn't filtered enough and bottled water is an option. We should be better off, right? Well, maybe only slightly better off, depending on where you live. The purity of bottled water has been in question since at least 2009, when the Environmental Working Group released a scorecard showing most water brands failed to disclose contaminants contained in their water. It is not saying that there are no contaminants in their water. They just fail to disclose what contaminants are in their water. It's all in the literature, you know. It's all in the wording. Another survey in 2011 revealed that 18% of bottled water did not show where the water came from, and 32% did not disclose how the water was treated or the purity. In 2020, Consumer Reports tested 47 bottled water brands for heavy metals and 30 PFAS chemicals. They found PFAS was detectable in most of the non-carbonated water brands and in all but one of the carbonated waters. For an objective analysis of your water quality, consider consulting the Tap Water Database, created by the Environmental Working Group. Unless you can verify the purity of your water, seriously consider installing a high quality water filtration system. And of course, it can run a pretty penny, as we came across that family that built that custom home in Texas, just north of Austin, Texas. What were they? The Phillips family? They spent thousands of dollars putting in a filtration system. Ideally, the water can be filtered at the point of entry and at the point of use. And this means adding a filter where the water enters the home and then again at the sink and the shower. There are a variety of options that have benefits and drawbacks. And for some of those, you know, there's information that is out there that we can look at, like how to properly filter your water. Now, what I found interesting is that back in 2018, Mercola yet again did a little bit of put together an article where they looked at having properly filtered water. And you'd think that would be interesting that in 2018 they did an article looking at filtering water properly. What would be the reason to look at filtering your water properly if you didn't come across water that needed filtration? So Mercola did this article back in 2018 about properly filtering your water. And here it is in 2021. They did another article talking about the chemicals that are in the water. So it could not have been that it was recently that they found information pointing to chemicals, toxic chemicals, in our drinking water supply. The 2018 article reads, each year, red flags over toxic drinking water are raised across the United States, with reasons varying from location to location. One major problem is aging water pipes, which have become an increasingly common source of toxic exposure. In fact, in a 2013 report, the American Society for Civil Engineers warned that most of the drinking water infrastructure across the nation is nearing the end of its useful life. 2013. The American Water Works Association estimates it would cost more than $1 trillion to update and replace all the water pipes in the United States, money that many water utilities do not have. Water pollution is another grave concern, as water treatment plants cannot filter out all the toxins now entering the water, from firefighting chemicals and agricultural chemicals to drugs and microcytins, nerve toxins produced by freshwater cyanobacteria. Again, not new information. I just want to let me drive this point home, because I don't think it can be stressed enough. The information that I'm presenting tonight about the toxins in the water supply across the United States, whether they're manageable, quote unquote, manageable levels of toxins or not. Because if it's manageable in or acceptable in the areas where the population is high and the money is strong, then what is happening in areas where it is not? What is happening in the rural areas? Yeah. So there has to be some concern that is given to those that are in those parts of the nation. It's not the entire nation that is urban. There is still a whole lot of rural areas in the United States, which means some of these areas not getting half the quality of the water. Okay, that's I'm making an assumption that I don't have the proper information to say. But they wouldn't be getting the quality of water that they're getting in the more populated areas that require that they get that. Because if it is not the case, then it will really show up in a more densely populated area. So you don't want anything causing concerns to one of the nation's utilities, especially water. But the more industrialized we are, the more of a problem we're facing, because the water quality has been getting less and less. While the US has many water quality concerns, it doesn't really matter where you live anymore, as many dangerous chemicals find their way into the ecosystem, spreading from one continent to another. The take-home message is that if you care about your health, filtering your household water is more of a necessity than an option these days. And I guess that's why a lot of the refrigerators come with water filters. The ones that dispense water and ice. Now, ideally, you want to filter the water you use both for drinking and bathing, as immersing yourself in contaminated water may be even more hazardous to your health than drinking it. Chemicals absorbed through your skin go directly into your bloodstream, bypassing your digestive and internal filtration systems. Unfiltered water can also expose you to dangerous chlorine vapors and chloroform gas, which can cause dizziness, fatigue, asthma, airway inflammation, and respiratory allergies. Wait. Hold up. So, the quality of the water can contribute to respiratory allergies. So, and this would probably be why I get labeled a conspiracy theorist, right? So, here it is. You have a water system that has contaminants, right? And it is known to have contaminants. Here you have an article in 2021 that I'm coming across that was done from 2018 that talks about chlorine vapors in unfiltered water that can contribute or cause dizziness, fatigue, asthma, airway inflammation, and respiratory allergies. You take that little piece and you add this virus that was running rampant or has been running rampant throughout the world since late 2019. COVID-19, right? Could there be a connection with the virus and the water we're drinking? Because it affects the water that we are drinking affects our health so negatively that it is so simple for a virus of this nature, to have wide-standing effects or wide-spreading effects. Could that possibly be the case? Just possibly. I'm not saying that it is. But could it possibly be the case? Could the water we're drinking contribute to the effects of this virus? Could it make our bodies even that much more susceptible to the effects of this virus? I digress. Back to the information. Chlorine can vaporize from every toilet bowl in your home, and every time you wash your clothes or dishes, or take a shower or bath. So, if you get your water from a municipal water supply and don't have a whole house filter, be sure to open windows on opposing sides of your home to cross-ventilate. Keep the windows open for 5 to 10 minutes a day to remove these gases. Now, what happens if you live in an apartment where you only have windows on one side of the apartment? Because when I lived in Chicago, one side of my apartment led to the hallway. No windows there. And the other side of my apartment, there was windows that went outside. So, if you only have windows on one side, how do you have that cross ventilation going? And I'm pretty sure it is that way in apartment buildings all over. So, how the cross ventilation thing work? I'm just wondering. That's the kind of question that it's simple enough, right? Simple enough question to ask. I guess you just put a fan in the unit in the apartment that blows out a window, so it would pretty much ultimately create a vacuum that it will suck air in through another window. But then again, if the air is polluted that is outside, here's another problem again. So now you're getting polluted air coming into the home, mixing with the chlorine gases that coming from the polluted water. Stress. I remember when I was growing up in Jamaica, the water was so treated that you had to sometimes let the water settle. And I was always told that was chlorine in the water. So you had to kind of let it settle and clear up before you drink it. You shouldn't just drink it straight as it is. That's what I was told as a child. Now, did I research that as an adult to see what kind of water it was I was drinking? Was that really chlorine in the water because the water was treated and piped and had that level of treatment still coming through? I don't know. But it did clear up. It wasn't just bubbles. It did clear up. So, I don't know. Top of the hour, we're going to take another quick little break. When we come back, we look at a little bit more information as it relates to water filtration in the home. And then we jump into musical therapy. We'll be back in just a few moments. I do thank you once again for your continued support and invite you to call a friend, tell a friend that the night shift is on and this is Healthy Love. We'll be right back.
The award-winning Palace Peace and Love Academic Scholarship is appealing for your support to help educate one student at a time in Jamaica and the Caribbean.
Palace awarded 492 scholarships and several computers to university and high school students in Jamaica and the Caribbean over the past 7 years, valued at approximately 33 million Jamaican dollars, $250,000 US.
Importantly, our university graduates to date include 15 medical doctors, 10 lawyers, 6 engineers, and 15 fine arts students. Our goal is to award at least 105 scholarships in 2018.
Please partner with us to make this a reality for those well-deserving, hard-working students by making a tax-deductible donation online at www.palace1.org
or send a check to Palace, P.O. Box 5461, Alpharetta, Georgia 30023 USA, or telephone 770-744-2154.
Palace, preserving young minds for posterity.
Yes, my people, check out I Red Funks on Reggae Global Radio every Saturday at 8 p.m. with Kev Stew, where I'll give you a pre-life, brand new, good for you. Kick it like a ball if you don't say a dance song. You hear that?
Matthew 28:19 says, "Go ye therefore and teach all nations." With this in mind, and encouragement received during a South Florida media conference, The Church Links was birthed. The Church Links is an interdenominational worship service portal for churches, providing the tools to spread the word through technology in a cost-effective way. The Church Links, www.dahchurchlinx.com. Your links to worship and praise. Greetings and salutations. This is DJ Kevin Stew inviting you to bubble up and simmer down with me in the Saturday Stew right here on Reggae Global Radio. Get ready for the special segment called The Secret Ingredient, where you may hear from your favorite artist or producer. Saturday Stew happens every Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time exclusively on ReggaeGlobalRadio.com, where we get high on reggae.
It's Christina representing for DJ Kevin. You see me, I say, I don't know the boss. You see me, I say, DJ Kevin Stew and the Night Shift Radio Show. Yo, it at the thing, turn up the thing loud. Whoa, DJ Kevin Stew have the heart of a champion. Never underestimate, just choose him. The silver line behind the dark clouds. DJ Kevin Stew believe him, and that's no doubt. Salute the Night Shift Radio Show. Listen, it's hard to talk.
But still I not break. Sit back and watch the world spin, or take a look at everything that's happening. Hey, you know them have win a race where them set up, but you know we are going. Life hard, but we still a live it up. No say it up, but we still a face it up. Life hard, but we still a live it up. We not give up the fight, can't give up the fight. Life hard, but we still a live it up. No say it up, but we still a face it up. Don't life hard, but we still a live it up. We not give up the fight. Heights of greatness, say life hard, but me going. Enough time to see, mommy cry from me growing. No time to smile, cause you know what's happening. I pick up on the road and take on the beast master. I stay under control. I have that mindset, stay true to your goal. I have that drive, the hunger in your soul. You alone on the highway, but you pay the toll, hey. Cause you buck up in a hidden out gear. Office stay strong in a the Gideon. Office have a heart of a lion. Stay strong in a Zion. I'm more than a conqueror, yeah. From J.A. Thank Father God for the few of them are real, yeah. Brother and sister, them tougher than steel, yeah. I one link so you know the thing seal, yeah. I one link so you know the thing real. Life hard, but we still a live it up. No say it up, but we still a fist it up, down. Life hard, but we still a live it up. We not give up the fight, can't give up the fight. Life hard, but we still a live it up. No say
I want to welcome you all back to the broadcast.
Life hard, but we still a live it up. We not give up the fight.
The track is called Life Hard.
Mommy, daddy, proud of me. So
courtesy of David Powell.
Over me. Cause when me take a trip right down to memory lane, me woke up in a sorrow and pain. Hey, while you rise to see the sun, who you love or pull you down, trying to discredit the works you have done. Selector, keep it on the beat. Tell them God not sleep, cause none for them are over now. I move like sheep. I was some people are free, no work and pure gettings. I'm on another level, yo, a different settings. Man will never sell them soul. Man rather be a soldier, so silver and gold. And no nothing cause me know ya. Say man I work and I press from day one. Face on the toughest, I was born in a plain land. And every youth you have the strength of a nation. Man have to work with them all. Life hard, but we still a live it up. No say it rough, but we still a fist it up down. Life hard, but we still a live it up. We not give up the fight, can't give up the fight. Life hard, but we still a live it up. No say it rough, but we still a fist it up down. Life hard, but we still a live it up. We not give up the fight. Heights of greatness. See, we never giving up.
It's called Life Hard. Heights of Great Men by David Powell.
Heights of great men.
I want to say thank you to Reggae Global Entertainment for sponsoring this segment of the broadcast.
Keep it on the beat. Tell them God not sleep, cause none for them are over now.
Reggae Global Entertainment will provide bookings.
You know work and pure gettings.
Well, they'll act as your booking agents, handle your tour management, take care of copyrights, publishings, trademarks, business registration, legal service referrals, music production, marketing and promotion, and more. Give them a call, 954-804-8199. That's 954-804-8199. From 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Eastern. Or check them out online, reggaeglobalentertainment.com. Tell them you heard about them on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew.
See, we never giving up. Oh Lord, we never giving up. Yeah, heights of great men.
Yeah, man, I really like this one. New music from David Powell. It's called Life Hard. Heights of Great Men.
I say God not sleep, we never giving up. God not sleep, so we never giving up. For paradise. We never giving up. We never giving up. No, heights of great men.
Yeah, we're never giving up. Never, ever, ever. So, continuing with our topic tonight, toxic water across America. We're looking at keeping the water in our homes clean, or a little bit better than how it is coming in. And you do that by way of adding filtration systems. Now, most water supplies contain a number of potentially hazardous contaminants at varying levels. And among the worst are DBPs, your disinfection byproducts. In water treatment facilities that use chlorine or chloramines to treat and purify the water, toxic BDPs form when these disinfectants react with natural organic matter like decaying vegetation in the water, in the source water. these byproducts are over 1,000 times more toxic than chlorine. And of all the toxins and contaminants present in your water, such as fluoride and miscellaneous pharmaceutical drugs, DBPs are likely the most hazardous. THMs, or trihalomethanes, are one of the most common DBPs. They are cancer group B carcinogens, meaning they have been shown to cause cancer in lab animals. They've also been linked to reproductive problems in both animals and humans, such as spontaneous abortions, stillbirths, and congenital malformations, even at lower levels. These types of DBPs may also weaken your immune system, disrupt your central nervous system, damage your cardiovascular system, disrupt your renal system, and cause respiratory problems. Here it comes again. The respiratory issue. Is it so far-fetched then that we would have a respiratory pandemic, since that is of course what it's called? Incidentally, the Florida governor lifted all bans related to COVID-19 and said, at the community level, at the local level, no one has the authority to close schools or businesses anymore. So, is that because we went too far with saying that this is a problem, or that nobody cares that the problem exists? Which one is it? I'll leave you to find your own answers to those questions. So, when it comes to the water in our homes, what's really in the water? If you have well water, it would be prudent to have your water tested for arsenic and other contaminants. If you have public water, you can get a local drinking water quality report from the Environmental Protection Agency, the EPA. Now, the EPA regulates tap water in the US, but while there are legal limits on many of the contaminants permitted in municipal water supplies, more than half of the 300 plus chemicals detected in US drinking water are unregulated. And some of the legal limits may be too lenient for safety. For a more objective view of your water quality, check out the tap water database created by the Environmental Working Group. In a 2017 analysis, water samples from nearly 50,000 water utilities in 50 states revealed more than 267 different kinds of toxins in the US tap water. Of the 267 chemicals detected, let's have it broken down. 93 are linked to an increased risk in cancer. 78 are associated with brain and nervous system damage. 63 are suspected of causing developmental harm to children or fetuses. 38 may cause fertility problems, and 45 are linked to hormonal disruption. Now, alarmingly, nearly 19,000 public water systems had levels above 3.8 parts per billion, which would put a formula-fed baby at risk of elevated blood lead levels. Did you hear that? Let me make sure that sinks in. Nearly 19,000 public water systems had lead levels above 3.8 parts per billion, which would put a formula-fed baby at risk of elevated blood lead levels. Other chemicals of concern would include chromium 6, an industrial chemical that is not regulated under the Safe Drinking Water Act, but is found in drinking water in all 50 states at levels above those that may pose a cancer risk. Unregulated. There is 1,4-dioxane, an industrial solvent, which was widely detected at levels above what the EPA says could pose a cancer risk. Nitrates stemming from industrial agriculture were also found at potentially risky levels. Now, again, this article was a 2018 article. So, what then can we expect in our water in 2021? Are we going to go with what the EPA is saying is okay? Or are we going to do a second check and see what the Environmental Working Group is saying? Now, unless you can verify the purity of your water, you may want to seriously consider installing a high-quality whole-house water filtration system. Ideally, filter the water both at the point of entry and at the point of use. And this means filtering all the water that comes into the house and then filtering it again at the kitchen sink and the shower. As for the type of filtration system to get, now there are options, most of which have both benefits and drawbacks. And some of the most common options would be your reverse osmosis systems, in which, in addition to removing chlorine, inorganic and organic contaminants in your water, reverse osmosis, or RO, will also remove about 80% of fluoride and most BDPs. Now, the drawbacks include the need for frequent cleaning to avoid bacterial growth. Your best alternative is to use a tankless reverse osmosis system with a compressor. Now, the expense is another factor, as you may need the assistance of a plumber to get the system up and running. RO will also remove any valuable minerals and trace elements along with harmful contaminants. So, excuse me, that is something that you may want to consider if going with reverse osmosis. Then you have ion exchange, and this is designed to remove dissolved salts in the water, such as calcium. This system also softens the water and helps prevent the creation of scale buildup. The ion exchange system was originally used in boilers and other industrial situations before becoming popular in home purifying units, which usually combine the system with carbon for greater effectiveness. While advantages include a high flow rate and low maintenance cost, Sciencing points out the disadvantages, which include calcium sulfate fouling, iron fouling, absorption of organic matter, organic contamination from the resin, bacterial contamination, and chlorine contamination. Then you have granular carbon and carbon block filters. And these are the most common types of countertop and under-counter water filters. Granular activated carbon is recognized by the EPA as the best available technology for the removal of organic chemicals like herbicides, pesticides, and industrial chemicals. One of its downfalls is that the loose material inside the can, or the loose material inside, can channel, meaning the water creates pathways through the carbon material, thereby escaping filtering. Carbon block filters offer the same superior filtering ability, but have compressed with the carbon medium in a solid form. Now, this eliminates channeling and gives the ability to precisely combine multiple media in sub-micron filter cartridge. By combining different media, the ability to selectively remove a wide range of contaminants can be achieved. Now, ideally, you want a filtration system that uses a combination of methods to remove contaminants. And this will ensure the removal of the widest variety of contaminants. One of the best filtration systems that has been mentioned so far is the Pure and Clear Whole House Water Filtration System, which uses a 3-stage filtration process consisting of a micron sediment pre-filter, a KDF water filter, and a high-grade carbon filter. And that is quite an elaborate setup. Let me just put that out there. Now, one of the most pernicious toxins in American water supplies is fluoride. And while it is not healthy for anyone, pregnant women and households mixing formulas for babies should take extra care to avoid fluoridated water. Which is kind of interesting because we use toothpaste that contain fluoride. So, how does that work out? But anyway, so households mixing formulas for babies should take extra care to avoid fluoridated water, as bottle-fed babies are at significant risk of getting too much fluoride. Now, even low doses of this chemical have been shown to alter thyroid function and childhood brain development and lower IQ in exposed children. Again, could this be the reason why our children are seemingly not as intelligent as before, or are more frequently making dumb decisions? I don't know. Fluoride is also a mitochondrial poison that sabotages your mitochondria's ability to create cellular energy, and an enzymatic reactor, meaning it reacts with enzymes in your body. Moreover, fluoride leaches lead out of pipes, which further magnifies the neurological risks. Unfortunately, fluoride is a very small molecule, making it very difficult to filter out once added to your water supply. So, should we have it in our toothpaste? Now, any simple countertop carbon filter will not remove it. If you have a whole house carbon filtration system that has a large volume of carbon, it may reduce the fluoride, as fluoride removal is in direct proportion to the amount of fluoride and the time it's in contact with the media. It's not just going to get it all. Among the more effective filtration systems for fluoride removal would be your RO system. Water distillation, like RO, removes beneficial minerals, so you might want to look into that also. You then would need to restructure the water through chilling or vortexing, and it is not recommended using distilled water on a regular basis. However, it may cause mineral deficiencies. And then you have bone-char filters and biochar filters. Now, clearly the simplest, most effective, most cost-effective strategy is to not put fluoride in the water to begin with. And there is a book called The Case Against Fluoride by Dr. Paul Connett that is recommended for information. Hey Josie, how are you? Yeah, you were missed too. Good to see you. Welcome back. It's good to be back. Also, KevinStew.com has missed all of you guys, and it's good to have you back. Now, one more little bit of information here before I jump into musical therapy. In addition to filtering your water, consider drinking more living or structured water. In his book, The Fourth Phase of Water, Gerald Pollack, PhD, reveals the importance of H3O2 opposed to H2O, which is regular water. This structured water is known as exclusion zone or EZ water, and it has very unique properties. It's more viscous, dense, and alkaline than regular water, has a negative charge, and can hold and deliver energy much like a battery. In fact, this is the kind of water found in your cells, and it helps recharge your mitochondria. Now, for those that did science, there's one thing I remember from science. Looking at cells, the mitochondria, that's the powerhouse of your cells. That's where the energy is produced. And so if it recharges your mitochondria, then it revitalizes your body. Now, water becomes more structured when you apply energy to it. So chilling water, that works. And two simple ways to structure your water. Cooling the water to 39 degrees Fahrenheit or about 10 degrees Celsius. And creating a vortex in the water by stirring it with a spoon. Who knew? Another alternative is to collect already structured water. Natural deep springs are an excellent source. The deeper, the better, as structured water is created under pressure. There's a website called findaspring.com. It's FINDA spring.com, one word, where you can find natural springs in your area. Now, do your homework before setting off to collect water, however, as you may not be allowed to collect water from all springs, even if they are listed. Did I call you Josie? Joy? Did I? I'm sorry if that's what I did, Joy. I truly apologize, because you're my happy joy. So if I call you Josie, Josie's calling my name. That's probably why. I'm sorry, my dear. I'm so sorry. In wrapping up, none of the springs in Florida, for my Florida neighbors, none of the springs in Florida are set up to be legally used as sources of potable water. You may also want to check and see if there have been any chemical spills in the area that might affect the purity of the water that you're checking out. A workaround can be to check whether your local state park has potable water you can use, as they typically draw water from the same sources as the springs. So check that out. See what you can get if you can get it. But, stir your water. Creating a vortex in the water by stirring with a spoon would be a simple way to structure your water. I didn't even know that. So if you have your water in a bottle and you just spun it around and you created that vortex, is that the same thing? I wonder. Where are my science buffs? And I need help from my science buffs to help me with this one. If creating a vortex in a cup with a spoon is a simple way to get your easy water or your structured water, as well as chilling the water to 39 degrees. But I drink room temperature water, so the cold water thing, that wouldn't work for me, really. So, and I typically have water in a bottle, see? So, if I have my water in a bottle and I just spin it around and create that vortex. Does that make it structured? Or is that metal spoon, or is that a part of creating that structured water by creating that vortex with that spoon? And they didn't say it had to be a metal spoon either. They just said it was a spoon. So it could have been a plastic spoon. I don't know. Now I'm confused. I have more questions than answered. Can somebody help me out here, please? And you know what happens when I start asking questions? I get deeper and deeper down this rabbit hole of needing answers. Boy, the struggle is real. But fortunately for us, we get to go into musical therapy and ease some of that struggle. I, again, encourage you guys to check out your water sources. Double check with the environmental working group and see, you know, what is the quality of the water in your area. Check the water quality. Check it against a couple of resources. See what it is that you're getting. And then check the chemicals that are found in your water and the effects of those chemicals on the human body. Check out the effects on children. Because some of these chemicals that we've come across, some of the main ones, your lead and other toxic chemicals, toxic minerals, arsenic. These are not good at all for anyone. So find out what's in your water. And you might want to go to your local government and raise a stink about it. Because if we collectively make enough noise, then we should be able to get some sort of response, shouldn't we? Now, don't get me wrong, this doesn't take away from Flint, Michigan. We all should be making noise about Flint because the water is still bad in Flint today in 2021. They have not fixed that. But the fact that it is happening all across the country should not be ignored either. So let's raise a collective concern about it. Let's make enough noise. Let's get into enough good trouble so that something can be done about the water that we're getting, the water that we're putting into our system, into our bodies. Yeah? Because it doesn't get any more foundational than water. And we need to make sure that we have good water for ourselves, for long lives, and for our children. This is where we get into our musical therapy.
The struggles of life face us each day.
And we kick it off with new music from Marcia J. Ball. The track is called Time Change.
Face reality, today for you, tomorrow for me. Come on, let's live in harmony.
Inviting you to call a friend, tell a friend. Joy, we get to bounce a little bit before you go to bed.
The struggles of life face us each day. Gotta take this journey all the way. We've gotta face reality, today for you, tomorrow for me. Come on, let's live in harmony. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive.
daughters, we have sons. So much work left to be done. What you believe you will achieve. So let's get together, everyone. Join hands and hearts together, take a stand. Big truth and rights to every man. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Struggles of life face us each day. Gotta take the journey all the way. We gotta face reality. Today for you, tomorrow for me. Come on, let's live in harmony. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how.
I want to say thank you to our segment sponsor.
Times are changing.
For this, our musical therapy segment.
Can't drop out of
GMAC Music Solutions, thank you very much. GMAC Music Solutions provides sound, light, and stage production services, musical equipment, PA systems, audio engineers, DJs, bands, singers, musicians, and engineers and singers.
No matter how hard we got.
Give them a call, 754-307 GMAC. That's 754-307-4622.
We can't drop out of.
Check them out online, gmacmusicsolutions.com.
How hard we gotta survive.
Tell them DJ Kevin Stew sent you.
Changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are changing before our face. We can't drop out of this race. No matter how long, no matter how hard, we gotta survive. Times are
This is the sound of Mr. Congo Bongo himself, Jadan. New music called Cooking. Hey Joy, this one is for you. What you cooking today? Maybe he should have made this one baking. Speaking of baking, Joy, I'm waiting for my samples.
No meat in my kitchen. Rastafari no support blood spilling. Pass I some chickpeas or some ackee off the trees. Wild rice so you wild so. Fill the pot of water, can't spoil you. Coconut a bubble down, high you. Along my damsel them can't style you. When you steam the color, know you make it mild so. And she no eat them KFC nor them burger. Watch it, Babylon now where you heard that. And she no eat no for a burger. I'm cooking today. my pot and boil up. Hey, seasoning up. When one cut up, wood fire blaze up. So you know some my pot and boil up. Mass the pot got the thing well hot. Mass the pot got the thing well hot.
This is the son of Hezron. Track called Once Again.
So you can live your life while I won't live mine. I wish you good luck and goodbye. We'll see you around sometime. It's time for you to be wise, yeah. Take off the love disguise, yeah, yeah.
You know, Joy, you keep telling me what you're making and when you made it. But I don't get any. Between your husband and the kids in the neighborhood, I get left out. I'm almost hurt.
Once when I wanted to go, my poor heart tell me no. But I can't stand anymore. My cup is overflow. You are once adored. Need your love no more.
On a novelty.
Comes like a flood. Give praise to the Most High and keep it moving.
Her chart-topping track.
Keep it moving.
Yeah, that's the title right there. Keep it moving.
When they come with the negative vibe, hold your head high, smile, smile, keep it moving. Keep it moving. Left, right, 1, 2. Left, right, 3, 4. Keep it moving. Left, right, 3, 4, keep it moving. Keep it moving. Yes, they say you'll never succeed, but look the naysayers in the eye, just smile and keep it moving. Keep it moving. When the Father says yes, nobody can say no. So keep it moving with a positive flow. Left, right, 1, 2. Left, right, 3, 4. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. Oh. Left, right, 1, 2. Left, right, 3, 4. Keep it moving with a positive flow.
Boy, Joy, that flattery will get you everywhere. I don't know how much out of this predicament to get you. For now, it has gotten you out of it.
So when the enemy comes like a flood, give praise to the Most High God.
The trumpet stylings of Novelty is producer husband, Mr. Howard Perry. They make such a wonderful combination. Beautiful even.
Let's go. Left, 1, 2, step right, 3, 4, moving.
This morning, the first thing that I saw, my eyes popped open. Overwhelming beauty's captivating.
This is the sound of Maurice Gregory.
Aching just to be right next to you.
It's called What a Feeling. New music from him.
Truth, I've never felt nothing like this. I'm just losing myself. This feeling keeps growing stronger. Hey, I know you're waiting for a long time. I'm waiting for you to be mine. What a feeling, what a feeling. Hey, I know you're waiting for a long time. I'm waiting for you to be mine. What a feeling, what a feeling. I'm stalling. I'm savoring each moment, oh my darling. I feel I'm levitating while I'm falling. Oh, I keep falling for you, only you. Truth, I've never felt nothing like this. Am I just losing myself? This feeling keeps growing stronger. Hey, I know you're waiting for a long time. I'm waiting for you to be mine. What a feeling, what a feeling. Hey, I know you're waiting for a long time. I'm waiting for you to be mine. What a feeling, what a feeling. Oh gosh, it's basic. When you find the one for you, embrace it. Cause time is of the essence, so don't waste it. You shouldn't waste it. No more, no more. Truth, I've never felt nothing like this. Am I just losing myself? This feeling keeps growing stronger. Never find nobody like you, like you, like you. What a feeling, what a feeling. Never find nobody like you. I know you're waiting for a long time. I'm waiting for you to be mine.
Oh, yeah, okay. With the Most High as my keeper, I trample all backbiter. Cause I was born an overcomer.
Hey Joy,
Fear no one.
this track is named after you.
Trample them careless whisper.
This is the sound of Crescenti.
Plunder. I am here for today and tomorrow. I know I will live forever. Sin. Joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for fair.
It's called Joy.
Sunshine wouldn't be essential if it wasn't for rain. No. Joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for pain. No. The sunshine wouldn't be essential if it wasn't for rain. You have to know how to overcome life ups and downs. Oh, morning and noon. With nature you have to keep in tune. Life disappointments have its reason. Yeah. Just like the tree, bring forth fruits in its season. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But don't cry, as long as there's another day. There's always a brighter way. I say joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for pain. No, sunshine wouldn't be essential if it wasn't for rain. No, joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for pain. No, the sunshine wouldn't be essential if it wasn't for rain. I play my part with the Most High in my heart. Stepping into the light, positively out of the dark, yeah. Eden shall fade like the wind beneath the trap. Good over evil, I know negativity must get better. friends. Okay, with the Most High as my keeper, I trample like backbiter. I no fear no warmonger, 'cause I was born of a brother.
I'm not that far away, Joy. I'm right there.
Trample them careless whisper.
I'm sure you can hear me right in your ear.
Today and tomorrow, see, joy wouldn't feel so sweet if it wasn't for pain. No, the sunshine would be essential if it wasn't for rain. After all I've been through, I never knew I'd ever find you. Never knew I'd find the love that I need.
5 minutes to the top of the hour. 5 more minutes before I get out of here.
No one else has ever done
The son of Audley Rollin. A track called Never Knew Love Till You.
for me, not for what I have or for what I could be. Never knew love till you. No one else has ever done the things that you do. Never knew love could be true. I would not want to live without you. Never knew love till you. It's a blessing to have found you. Your love is unconditional. Lord, I thank you for loving me. Love is kind, love is not puffed up, it's not easily provoked, and it's not selfish. Love endures all things, it rejoices in the truth. So when perfection came around, I told all others goodbye. After all I've been through, I never knew I'd ever find you. No, I never knew I'd find the love that I need in you.
As I'm about to get out of here, I want to remind you to look out for members of your community. Your community is not just the development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those that you pass on the bus, on the plane, or the boat, or the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Look out for one of them today, because you never know who's going to look out for you tomorrow. My name is DJ Kevin Stew. So I'd like to do it to you, for you, and with you every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from 10 p.m. Eastern. Remember to join me tomorrow, Real Talk Wednesday, as we close out the night shift week.
And it's not selfish. Love endures all things, it rejoices.
Thank you for hanging out with me in this musical therapy for this healthy love night.
After all I've been through, I never knew I'd ever find you. No, I never knew I'd find the love that I need in you.
So make we talk for a second about this.
I'm leaving you with this one from Caramanti.
On this, feeling love peaceful and bliss. A black love full of chocolate kiss. Black moments make we reminisce. Light your spliff.
It's called Black Love.
Tonight sex and up we target. Cause I've got something better. I swear to God I do. I've got a man that loves me and reads to me too. Him take me on a level. Nothing.
Pleasant dreams, Joy.
But confess that I.
Thank you to the affiliates all over. One Harmony Radio, Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com, NIE Radio, Island Worldwide, WGLRO, Aliwap Music, Aliwap Media, Dusik Media, Aliwap Radio, Dusik Media Group, right.
All day with me, black love
got everybody, right?
Are we connected through time and space? The love strong, stronger than the black.
Of course, those of you locked in on the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com.
Your king, I will never on.
Much love, much love. Truly appreciate love you. Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world from right here in South Florida.
I have to elevate.
I bid you a good night.
Something better. I swear to God I do. I've got a man that loves me and reads to me too. Him take me on a level, nothing left to do but confess that I love him, and that's the truth. He reads to me.
When being in the moment is priceless, consider the ability to share that moment. If you can video it, you can broadcast it. And Pulse E-Media Group has the tools you need. Weddings, birthdays, funerals, graduations, church services, parties, seminars, you name it. Pulse E-Media Group can provide you with a secure medium controlled by you to broadcast your event. Contact us at www.pulsemediagroup.com for more information. Pulse E-Media Group, when being in the moment is priceless.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.